Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Sabrina. Today I'm going to be talking about a really requested video, which is how my first month on Isibloom birth control has been. I was prescribed Isibloom by the Pill Club, and on my Pill Club unboxing video, a lot of people were commenting that they were also prescribed Isibloom, but because they saw online reviews for Isibloom that were really negative, they decided to change their prescription, and I've had a lot of people ask me to make this video. So we out here, get ready for the time of your life. I want to preface this by saying that please watch the entire video before you form your own opinion, because I am going to talk about the negative aspects first and end with the positive ones. So I don't want you to just watch 2 minutes of the video and be like, oh, she's going through a lot. I don't want to go through that and just decide not to stick with the birth control. So yeah, also take my video with a grain of salt, because my body will not react the same way as yours does. So if you're really worried about how your body will react to this birth control, you should probably contact like a physician who knows your medical history really well, or a gynecologist or whatever, you know, to get a professional opinion about it if you're really that worried. And also, since birth control changes your normal hormone levels throughout the month, because women's bodies do have different hormone levels depending on what day it is in their cycle. So like, because my cycle is usually 32, 33, 35 days long, and the birth control is shortening it to 28, and my periods are usually 9 days long and they're shortening it down to like 6 or 7, obviously I'm gonna have some side effects. My body's gonna be like, what the frick, and try to react to it weird. So, you know, just keep that in mind. So I have all my notes. These are 3 pages worth of notes. I took really detailed notes just in case anyone wanted an update video on this. So for the first 1 to 4 days, I had medium level nausea. Like, I didn't throw up, but I was sometimes during the day, I would be like, oh man, is this what it feels like to throw up? I haven't thrown up in a while, but like it felt like I could throw up right then and there, but I didn't. Keep in mind that I also get nauseous very easily. Like, I get car sick easily if I look out the window weird, or if I've been in a car for too long. And because I was nauseous, I had a loss of appetite. I did eat because I force myself to eat even if I'm not hungry, so I don't faint later in the day or whatever, or feel dizzy. But I really just did not want to eat. I did lose a few pounds, but I gained it back because on days 5 to 7, I had a sudden craving for everything beach. So yeah, I ate a lot and I went up a few pounds. I'm usually about I'm usually about 115 to 117. I went up to like 119 and I just went back down to my normal weight. So it's whatever. Weight fluctuates no matter what you do, honestly. So for the rest of the month, I had random cramps. Like, my uterus would just suddenly cramp up. Like, it wasn't constant. It was just like one little and then release, and then it was gone. My cramps usually aren't debilitating, so it wasn't like painful. It was just annoying. Keep in mind, again, my body's different than yours. I have a different pain tolerance. It was just like, oh, that's weird, and then it went away. I will say that usually during my natural period cycles, my cramps are pretty bad. Like, sometimes it's like toe curling. I'll have to grab onto something and be like, oh, Jesus Christ. My boobs were also pretty tender. Like, it wasn't as bad as the ones I usually have, where it's like right before, like a week before my period is supposed to start. It was just kind of like I would touch them and I'd be like, huh, it's weird, they're tender. Okay, I'll just be careful and I won't bump into anything. It wasn't bad, and it never increased in pain. It was just kind of constantly like tender. And I'm not complaining because my boobs look great. I also had brown discharge pretty much throughout the entire month. My theory on why this happened is because, so I started birth control on the first day of my period. And because my periods are usually 9 days long, and it shortened it to like 6 days or 7 days, that all of the stuff in my uterus that's supposed to come out, all of the walls and the blood it didn't have time to come out. I'm not sure about the mechanics behind periods, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with your cervix, like softening and hardening. I think my cervix just kind of closed up and sealed up a little bit more so that all of that wasn't able to fall out immediately. And so it just slowly trickled out of me throughout the entire month. And it wasn't like bad. It wasn't like I had to wear pads every day. I just wore a panty liner, and sometimes small tiny chunks would come out and then brown discharge, and it was like whatever. I was like, okay, I'll just stick with this, but if this keeps happening during the next month, I'll probably ask to change my prescription. But it hasn't been happening, and I'll get into that later. So now we're gonna get into the positive side. So my first period happened when I took like my second inactive pill. I was really unsure about when my period actually started because the brown discharge did start coming out a lot more right before my period, but I texted my friends who were already on the same birth control, and they were like, oh yeah, no, that's kind of normal. You'll know when your period is coming because it'll be like red. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just wait. And so yeah, the red did come. I will say, the first thing I noticed was that I was experiencing a lot less cramps. Usually the week leading up to when my period is supposed to happen, I'll get like pretty intense cramps. I like was really confused. I was like, huh, my period's about to start, but I haven't had a lot of cramps. And then during my period, when it started, I basically experienced little to no cramps. Usually I have to take ibuprofen at least two out of the 9 days that my period is happening, and I didn't take any ibuprofen. So like, that's a win for me. I hate cramps. I'm so glad that I didn't have to take ibuprofen for it. There was also a lot less blood. Usually my periods are very heavy, and obviously so heavy that they last more than 7 days. Here I have my menstrual cup. Usually on the first 3 or 4 days, I will overflow the menstrual cup and have to change it out multiple times throughout the day. I only have to change it out once because it overflowed once throughout the entire week. After the 3rd or 4th day, I was barely bleeding. Like, I was only going up to like this line, and that's barely anything. Every time I changed it, the next 5 to 10 hours I needed to change it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wear pads. And I wasted so many nighttime pads, like the long pads, because I was expecting it to like slow down and then suddenly start up again, because that's usually how my periods go. And I just was not bleeding, and every time I had to change it, like 8 hours later, there was barely any blood on there, and I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm just gonna wear panty liners, and if I leak, then oh well, but I don't want to have to keep wasting pads. So yeah, I wore panty liners for like the last 3 to 4 days after my period, and it was fine. My period was so short and so lovely, and like, it wasn't as big of an annoyance as it usually is, which I love. Thank you, birth control. Now I'm on my second pack of Isibloom. You can see here, this is my second pack. I'm already almost done with my first week. The orange pills are the active ones, and I have had virtually no side effects. I love that. Like, I'm not nauseous, I'm not overeating. Well, that's a lie. I stopped watching my diet, so I don't know if that counts as overeating, but like, I'm not binge eating or anything. I don't have loss of appetite, I don't have cramps, my boobs aren't tender, you can see, like, I'm squeezing her, she's fine. Honestly, when I also read the reviews for Isibloom online, I was kind of iffy about it because, you know, if these people who are leaving really bad reviews about the birth control are experiencing really bad things like throwing up and acne. Oh, by the way, I don't have acne, and if I do, it's because the birth control isn't giving me any like really bad pimples before my period, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not breaking out, I shouldn't wash my face, and then I break out because I'm not washing my face, like this boy and then this one, but like, that's pretty much it. If someone experienced really bad side effects from the birth control and they're rightfully and obviously upset about it, of course they're gonna leave a review online because they're upset. But if someone like me who's had an average experience and expected side effects to come because it's new medication, like, I'm not gonna leave a review, except this is a review, but I'm not gonna type one up. It's like in a statistics class, you learn that sometimes you can't trust a survey when you're asking people to volunteer and give their answers to you, because only the people who are really passionate about their experience will tell you what happened. So it'll either be really positive or really negative, and most of the time it's really negative because people like to complain and they want to warn other people about their negative experience. And I probably haven't taken the birth control long enough to know if suddenly my body will react differently. I'm just telling you how my first month has gone, because a lot of people are asking me about it. So yeah, if something bad does happen, like, I'm sure I will speak up about it, and I'll eventually change my prescription, because your body does, you know, develop some sort of weird things towards some medications. Like, again, if you take ibuprofen too many times or acetaminophen too many times, you can damage your liver and kidneys. If you take allergy pills too many times, you can grow a tolerance for them, and then you'll have to, that's basically every drug. If you take it for too long and too often, you're gonna grow a tolerance to it, and it's not gonna work. I don't know if that's the same with birth control though. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not gonna be a doctor. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this helped someone. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I will gladly respond to them and try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.